You already know that the Falcons made the best moves of the offseason in the NFC South. It's not even close. So these fools on ESPN say something any different. We got beef. We got real beef. We gonna see.
The Saints as the team most likely to be dragged into the future. Bill, explain, please.
Well, the Saints did not want to go away from their roster building philosophy of just worrying about the cap later, just putting everything into the future, but then Derek Carr retired and handed them back $30 million. And now, looking at their roster, there's a series of veterans: Mario Davis, Cameron Jordan, Taysom Hill, Tyler Matthews.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna keep it 100. Saints about to be ass, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. Saints about to be dog shit. You know what I'm saying? Who that? Who that? Who is that? Y'all boys ass, man. Y'all boys ass. Y'all love getting on me because I'm a Falcons fan. But y'all niggas suck. Alvin Kamara is the best player y'all got. Cameron Jordan, about 52 years old. Tyler Shook is your quarterback. New Orleans is cheap, bro. And I love it. I love it.
Who are all free agents after this season. If they all get cut or move on, that would hit $50 million onto the Saints cap and dead money next year.
Y'all don't even got Lattimore no more.
$33 million in cap space without having to restructure anybody else for the first time seemingly in a generation. So the Saints can actually see a future where they're not cap constrained from the first moment the offseason begins.
I'll believe that when I see it, Bill Barnwell. But yes, you are exactly right. The Saints have never wanted to hit the reset button basically in the last 20 years, and Derek Carr went ahead and pressed the reset button for them. It's one of the best gifts Derek Carr could ever give the New Orleans Saints, is saying, hey.
Oh, God, I ain't gonna lie to you. Derek Carr real one, bro. Derek Carr is real. That nigga retired instead of staying on the roster and taking that 30 mil. Nigga like me. A nigga like me. Hey, man, I'm gonna need that 30 mil. I got a family to feed, man. You know, I got women to see. You know what I'm saying? I got experiences to be created. I need that 30 mil off top. I'm sorry, baby. You know what I'm saying? Run me in. I need my 30. But hey, man, Derek Carr, you a good man. Salute to you, brother.
You're in a rebuild now, okay? That's better than anything you could have done on the field, especially once he got injured in 2025. To me,
hold on, what the
saying you didn't familiarize yourself, not with Tyler Shuck or Spencer Rattler or Jake Haynes.
I know y'all see what I see down there at the bottom of the screen.
Arch Manning and John Mateer and all of the 2026 NFL draft quarterbacks. That's the end of the pool you guys are going to be on. And then people are saying, Kevin, Arch Manning might not come out in 2026.
Bro, y'all talking about Arch Manning, bro. Come on, bro. This man hasn't even started a single game, and you talking about Arch Manning, bro.
That would be so crazy because the last time they took a quarterback,
Arch ain't doing a goddamn thing. Hey, come on, man.
In the draft, after taking Jalen Walker earlier in the first round, that's just a lot of draft capital to give up for a situation where we don't know if they're one player away. History tells us this is a trade that most teams come to.
Bro, I'm really tired. I'm really tired of hearing these niggas say that shit about the draft pick situation. Look, bro, we swapped a first for next year to get it this year instead. 9 times out of 10, bro, we gonna be better this year than we were last year. You know what I'm saying? We barely won 8 games this year. So the likelihood of us getting into the top 15 or better is way less than it was this year. They wanted James Pierce Jr. They were gonna draft him at 15. So why would you not trade back in the first round and get the player that you didn't think, that, you know, the player that you wanted to initially draft at 15, at 26? Why would you not do that? And you need edge rush. Jalen Walker is a combo edge rusher. He's not yet mastered a true edge rush. You think I don't believe where we gonna draft next year that we gonna find a player like James Pierce Jr. where we drafted next year? So why, I mean, I don't understand why they trying to trip on us about that draft pick. This shit don't really make no sense. It's common sense, but media, I feel like they're trying to run with that shit. They're trying to run with the narrative. This shit really simple, bro. I'm tired of hearing about that shit.
It can occasionally be a disaster. I'm thinking about the Broncos trading a future first-round pick and getting Alphonso Smith, and the Seahawks landing a guy by the name of Earl Thomas, who worked out pretty well for them. This is just a trade that teams do not make anymore in the NFL. And the Falcons seem to get more desperate and calculated with their move.
You're acting not just out of long-term interest, but out of short-term interest, to Bill's point. Which isn't to say I disagree with everything they did. I mean, I like some of the players they added. I'm particularly intrigued by Jalen Walker, who they took in the first round without trading up to go get him. He's a really fascinating player in Georgia's scheme. He's a little bit of a tweener, came in as an off-ball linebacker, but I think has the necessary speed and pass rush ability to be really effective in Raheem Morris's defense. But he does feel like one of those two pass rushers they drafted in the first round has to be productive immediately based on the way that they've approached this.
Yeah, I mean, and you can see why they went all in. Only 31 sacks last season. That was 31st in the NFL.
Twice. And the Bucs just had too many playmakers to work with here. They brought back every single player who either caught a pass or ran with the football on offense last year. They're getting Chris Godwin back from his season-ending injury, and then they used their first-round pick.
Bro. Bonk. They love gassing the Buccaneers, bro. They love gassing Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield's a dog. But, bro, these niggas don't have a great defense. They don't. They have a good safety. They got a decent defensive line. The offense is getting older. Mike is hanging on by threads. The nigga done tore his hamstring off the bone last year. Chris Godwin is a chopstick now, you know what I'm saying, durability wise. You got good running backs. Okay, you drafted a Mecca Buka, very nice. But the NFL is talented all across the board. That's not like a outstanding offense, you know what I'm saying? They don't, but they acting like it's fucking the Kansas City Chiefs when they had Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. That's not the case, bro. I don't like that.
Exciting prospect at wide receiver as well. Nothing wrong with his philosophy. Adding playmakers is not the problem, but for first-time offensive coordinator Josh Broussard, this is really fascinating. You have a lot of players who are expecting a fair number of targets, fair number of carries. You're going to have to meter that out a bit, and it's going to be on Baker Mayfield to get the ball and spread it around to all these different playmakers as well. So it's a good problem to have, but it's still kind of a problem in Tampa Bay.
Draft now is for value. They're drafting because their roster is so good, like the Eagles do, like the Ravens do, like the Rams do. These top-of-the-line franchises who understand you stack positions, you just take best player available, and you go from there. They obviously need to take a step forward in their secondary, but they drafted...
I ain't gonna lie, bro. That nigga had 1,000 yards last year and 10 touchdowns with Will Howard and Jeremiah Smith on the roster. If that's the year that just passed, that's crazy. That's crazy. I can't hate on that, bro. I can't hate.
But I'm looking at this roster and I'm saying, the way they're stacking talent, Bill, at some point we're going to wake up and they're going to be undeniable Super Bowl contenders. It might not be this year, but in a couple of years they're building towards that because Jason Light is one of the best GMs in all of football. And the way they draft, the fact that they had a luxury at wide receiver, they took another one, they're doing value picks. That's how you win Super Bowls.
Yeah, I mean, even if you look at last season, their pass catchers caught 41 touchdowns. That was tied with the Ravens for the second most in the NFL behind the Bengals. We're going to talk about them later, right away. The Panthers, they are the team that Bill says is most likely to have definitely solved their problem this time for sure.
Oh yeah, they want to get that wide receiver to the first team.
One of my homies is an Arizona fan. He's from Arizona, him and his family, and they love the Wildcats. I've watched McMillan a couple times last year, not the one that just passed, but the year before that. You know what I'm saying? He's solid for sure, but I ain't gonna lie, I can't make my mind up. Like, I really don't know if I see this man being like a true elite NFL wide receiver. I don't really think I see that. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm a Falcons fan. People gonna think I'm hating, but I don't know if I see that, bro. You know what I'm saying? He's an elite ball catcher for sure. Like, he got pass catching ability, but I don't know. Is he gonna be better than what Drake London has made himself into be? Because that's kind of like comparable. You know what I'm saying? He's not on Mike Evans level. I don't think he's not big enough. I don't think he's as tall as neither one of them. I think he got to be like 6'3", 6'2" or 6'3". I could be wrong though. I don't know. The Panthers are weird, bro. The Panthers are just kind of shitty to me. They're just kind of shitty, bro.
I don't know if they're even 1 for 2 so far. They really get kind of up and down. They traded Jonathan Mingo quickly, so he's not going to be the guy. But they love Ted McMillan, and I like him as a player. Just wonder if you're going to get the most out of him, given where he was successful in college. He averaged more than 4 yards per route run working out of the slot, more route 2 when he was working outside. But look at the Panthers last year. Their best wide receivers were Adam Thielen and Jalen Coker, 2 guys who were most effective working out of the slot themselves. So sort of wonder how they use McMillan, where they position him. They might not get the most out of him if they keep him as that sort of pure outside.
Bro, I cannot wait to watch these rookies play, bro. I'm fucking ready. Every time I love watching rookies playing in the NFL, bro. Like, that shit fire. You just want to see how everybody shakes out. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait. And y'all tap in. Y'all stay tuned because I'm going to be doing a lot of underdog fantasy drafts this year. I'm going to do a couple in the next couple days. I'm going to go live. And I'm going to keep going until I get to $150. It's going to be the all rookie included draft. So it's going gonna have everybody in the league, including the rookie. Try to make my best fantasy draft possible. A couple of times I finished pretty good. I got to like round 3, but a couple of injuries got me out that championship. So we're gonna run that shit up, man. It's gonna be a good time.
I think he can win outside Bill, which is, I agree with you, how he's going to primarily be used. And most importantly, I just love what he does for Bryce Young. You know, I went back and watched some of Young's later starts this past week, and one thing that really struck me was the level of trust he started showing in his receivers. This was in contrast to earlier in his career, but he was throwing aggressively with anticipation, not waiting for guys to get open, giving the opportunity to make plays.
Hey man, Bryce turned that bitch up in the second half of the season, bro. I seen that shit personally. Bryce did his thing. I'm telling you, that man ain't no joke. He was getting hated on, and I was hating on him too. I ain't gonna lie, in the beginning of the year, because he was real mid, but Bryce is a real deal. If he get a good team around him, an old line, he gonna be a problem.
They did not make plays and reward him, but that's why I love the McMillan pick so much. You know, in
gonna be a
college,
problem.
he was second
Little
amongst
guy back
all
there.
FBS receivers in contested catches. And you really saw the body control, the strength.
What's a comp for what's a comp for McMillan, bro?
That the Panthers so desperately need. So I'm very optimistic about this pick. I really liked it, even if it is a position that, to Bill's point, they've been trying.
I gotta figure out this nigga measurables, bro. To the roll, McMillan, man. Oh shit, that nigga 6'4". That nigga 6'4". What's a comp though? I don't know. I gotta think about that.
Better at for some time now.
I mean, Young had an 85 total QBR in those last 3 weeks of the season. That was just behind Herbert and Mahomes.
Yeah, man. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments about what they were saying, man. The outlook. If you a NFC South fan, you a Saints, you a Panthers, you a Falcons fan like me, rise up. You already know. Or if you are a Buccaneers fan, let me know in the comments what you think. And if you think your team gonna do better than what they said, or you think they might do a little worse, let me know. Tap in. We here every day, baby. Till next time. Hey.